All right, my kids, let's talk about gloves, when to put them on and how to use them, okay? So when are you gonna put on gloves? If you are messing with ready to eat food, you have to have gloves on, right? Ready to eat food is food that is gonna be not going to be cooked before you're getting ready to give it to somebody. So if I'm making salads, if I'm, taking rolls off of the cookie sheet, the rolls are done like at Texas Roadhouse and I'm putting them in the bread basket. If I'm fooling with chips and dip, anything that you can think of that is a ready to eat food that is not going to be cooked, like it's done, it's finished, and you're getting ready to put it on the plate to give to somebody or to serve to somebody, you have to have gloves on. Okay, now when do you not have to have gloves on? If you are, the book says, if you are washing produce, so if you have a head of lettuce and you're washing the head of lettuce or whatever, you don't have to have gloves on. If you are preparing food that is going to be cooked, you do not have to have them on. They say if you're like prepping a pizza, like you're working at Domino's or Rotolo's or somewhere and you're making a pizza and you're fooling with cheese and pepperoni and all the toppings, you don't necessarily, it depends on where you work has different rules. However, a lot of places do not require workers to wear gloves. If they're putting the cheese on, the pepperoni on the pizza, they don't have to have gloves on. Why? Because they say that food is going to go in the oven and it's going to get hot enough and cook it to a proper internal temperature where it's going to kill any pathogens that may have been on the person's hands. Okay, so that just depends on where you work. A certification question, hint, hint, that they love to ask. It was on my test. I've seen it on several practice tests and possibly on other kids' tests, is if you're making potato soup or something with potatoes, or you're making a stew and you're cutting up raw potatoes to put in the pot to cook, do you have to have gloves on? Okay, and the answer is no, because you're cutting up, washing the potatoes, peeling the potatoes, cutting up the potatoes, you're putting them in a pot, and it's going to get hot enough to an internal temperature where it's going to cook any pathogens that may have been on the potatoes. It's going to cook or remove the pathogens. So you do not have to have gloves on for something like that. But if you are serving ready to eat food, you have to have gloves on. They also may ask you if you're serving high-risk populations, typically the elderly, you have to have gloves on. Even if you're cooking the food, they say no matter what, you gotta have gloves on, okay? So, what about gloves? You're gonna make sure if you're running a restaurant, if you're the manager, you're gonna buy gloves in different sizes. You're not gonna say, oh, my hands are small, so I'm only ordering small gloves. No, it doesn't work that way. If you order a bunch of small gloves and you have people that have medium or large size hands, the gloves are not going to fit them properly. Okay, so you want to make sure that if you're the manager or running the restaurant, that you have various sizes of gloves. If you're the worker, you're going to make sure that you pick the right size for your hand. Okay, you're not going to, as if you can see throughout this video, I've been touching all over the gloves, right? If I was getting ready to mess with food, I'm not going to touch all over the gloves. I'm going to touch the tip of the gloves. Okay, so again, maybe I'm getting ready to prepare some ready to eat food, I need to put my gloves on. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands before I put gloves on. They love to ask you, and we've been over with COVID and everything like that, wash your hands, how long you should wash your hands for, and all that kind of stuff. 10 to 15 seconds, okay? You need to know the procedure for washing your hands. It was on the last test. It's pretty easy. Lord help us if y'all don't know how to wash your hands by now, right? Oh, but anyway, the whole process should take you about 20 seconds, but the actual washing and scrubbing of your hands should take you 10 to 15 seconds. So you wash your hands. If you feel the need to put on hand sanitizer after you wash your hands, you can put on hand sanitizer and then let it dry good and then go ahead and put your gloves on. Okay, so I'm going to, again, pick the right size. Am I going to touch all over the gloves? Oh, well, and I dropped it. So I have to get clean gloves. Had this been legit, I would go get some clean gloves. But anyway, so normally I would not have dropped them. Okay, so you touch just the tip part of the glove, you put the glove on, okay, like that, and again, you're touching the tip part of the glove. The book will tell you if you've read the book, you watched the video, you should have for chapter 3. Are you going to blow inside the gloves to make them fit better? No. Are you going to put flour inside the gloves to make them easier to get on? No. Are you going to like roll them and do all kind of crazy stuff to the gloves? No. You're just going to put them on. Okay? Do what you got to do. They say if you are doing the same task over and over and over again, and you've had these gloves on for more than 4 hours, you gotta change them, okay? Naturally, if I'm fooling with ground meat, maybe I'm making hamburger patties, and then I'm gonna go fool with ready-to-eat food like rolls or something like that, I'm gonna change my gloves, right? Obviously, if I go to the bathroom, I'm taking my gloves off, taking my apron off, going to the bathroom, coming back. Hopefully I would have washed my hands for 10 to 15 seconds and then come back, put on fresh gloves, put my apron on, and I'm good to go. If your gloves get a hole in them, are you gonna change them? Of course, and stuff like that, right? When you go to take them off, okay, you don't touch all the outside of them. You take the tip, and this is the same, by the way, if you're working in healthcare, we do the same thing, right? You take the tip of them, you do like this, all right? You'd have a wastebasket nearby. Drop them in the wastebasket, take this one, drop them in the wastebasket, boop, done, okay? And then you'd go wash your hands and you're good to go, all right? So that's pretty much it with gloves. Just remember, do not blow inside the glove to make it fit better. Do not put flour inside the gloves. Do not roll them and do all kind of crazy stuff to them. Just put them on. Make sure you pick the right size. Change them every 4 hours. Obviously, if you drop them on the floor like I just did and it was a legit situation, you would get new gloves because that's disgusting, and that sort of thing. Never reuse gloves. Make sure if you're working in the food service industry, you should have disposable gloves. You're not going to have gloves that you're going to like take these off and then wash them and then reuse them. That's disgusting, and things like that. Make sure your nails are clean nails, short, no fingernail polish. Okay, I think that's pretty much it with gloves. Let me just double check. What else we got? Make sure you have latex alternatives. Some people are allergic to latex, so you may want to have a different alternative if you're running the restaurant for somebody that's allergic to latex. Multiple sizes, like we said, only purchase approved gloves that are approved for food service. These came straight from the cafeteria, so these are food service gloves, and that sort of thing. Like we said, don't blow into them, don't roll them, don't reuse them. I think that's about it, guys. Make sure you get ones that fit right, okay? If you have any questions, let me know about gloves. Hope to see you soon. Bye.